So I'm bothered by this. I don't know what happened to Zelena. And there's some time discrepancies that are bothering me. So I did like an Emmett Brown thing, but I already forgot what all it meant. So let's try it again. Okay, let's start with Storybrooke. And this is during the time. Can you see the dot? Are you looking at the dot, Mom?
I don't think the dot shows up.
Mom, look at the dot. This dot will be in Storybrooke when Henry gets the phone call from himself. Okay. And then right past it, this will be during the events of this episode, this finale. This will be when he's out of town with Emma and Regina. And then this will be when he actually goes through the portal. And we'll also say when Regina goes, even though it happens later, but they're out of town at this point. How did I do it on the other page? Let me just look real quick.
It's like a submarine.
It's a boat. Okay, yeah. Okay, so in the events of in the events of this episode, Robin and Alice. What's happening? In the events of this episode, Robin and Alice show up from Zelena's perspective, and her adult daughter shows up, and they take her to another realm where she helps them fight and save the day. So now she has knowledge that they fought and saved the day. And Regina cooks up the plan to do a new curse that makes all the realms united and bring them to Storybrooke. We know that can't happen before Henry and Regina leave, or they would have memories of that. And it didn't happen. So when everyone, including Zelena, comes back to Storybrooke, it has to happen sometime after that. Okay? And then here, though... here is when Henry leaves. And so he leaves and he drops down to a different realm. But he has... So the amount of time goes... Regina's there with him. And they need help. And so they contact Zelena, who is already living there with an adult Robin. They end up getting all their curse stuff. But this time, adult Robin and Zelena have seemingly no memories, and this is all new experience for them. Not really explained how she's the age she is. They even brush past it. But then the curse happens, and it takes them like way back in the past. Not a whole lot, but still before the events of this episode. And they're technically in this timeline, but they're in Seattle, so it's a little lower. Then the events carry on to the point where... Wait, did I do this? Yeah. So the point where Henry has contact with himself again on the phone. And then it carries on to the point of even this episode. But at this point, Zelena is in San Francisco getting married.
Yeah.
So Robin and them carry it on, jump over there. And this doesn't make any sense because at this point now, it would imply that Zelena had memories the entire season.
Yeah, she should have known.
Zelena is past this Zelena.
Mm-hmm.
Which means she would, whatever happens between here and here, Robin ages a lot, and Zelena would have not only memories of all of the events that happened, she'd have memories of how to beat the Dark One, and that they did.
Maybe it got erased.
But no, Mom, no! It doesn't work! It doesn't work, Mother! What? Okay, what? No, it's not, okay, it's not right? Every other event involving time travel still seemingly happened. Every single event that has made changes or introduced more information or actual physical real changes still happened. But you can't account for Zelena. And you could make the excuse to say that Regina, there's no two Reginas in this time now, because Regina looped around and went with Henry. Mm-hmm. So when they came back together.
Right.
But there's something happening here because Zelena has moved on with her life and gotten married in San Francisco. Yeah. But there's still a Zelena in town.
Right.
And we saw Zelena at the coronation, whatever. But which one is that?
Exactly.
And there's going to be a good amount of time. So Zelena has to go to another realm, seemingly back in time again, to be there at the place and time that Henry and Regina are looking for help with an adult daughter. So there better be a graphic novel or something to explain that, because that don't make no sense, Mom.
Because there should be an extra Regina even.
How? How you figure?
Because when Henry is at home, when he graduated, when he gets the phone call, his mom is there in town somewhere.
They would have to come back after Regina and Henry left, because they have no memory of an entire town and realms coming to their town. So Regina jumps straight across. She leaves with Henry, comes back. She makes a full loop. Regina makes a full loop. Regina and Henry left and came back at the same time. Zelena's the one that has this weird time discrepancy. It makes no sense. So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with this. I don't know. It's gonna bother me. You don't seem too bothered about this, Mom.
I already was bothered by the fact that that Zelena went off to get married and they left her basically in the real world.
Yeah, she's fine. Anyone got any help?
You better. I told you, get on Twitter and then talk to Adam and Eddie. Yell at them at the next Comic-Con.
No, I got more. I was thinking, I'm like, wait a minute, how did Zelena and them get to that realm? I forgot about that. It's because Robin wanted to do magic and stuff and was in Storybrooke at the time. But it also said years earlier, but then we were dealing with realms that have different time frames, so it doesn't really make sense. But in this, I pulled it up, Mom.
Episode 11.
This episode 11.
Absolutely not. And how did you even get in this vault anyway? Aunt Regina gave me Grandma's spellbook before she went for Henry.
Before she went for Henry. Which means, Mom, hold this. Which means, before she went for, I added a dot, by the way. Are you actually getting the book there?
Yes.
Okay, so this dot will be when Regina leaves. Henry, really close together. Okay, so before she left for Regina, which means the events of this episode have to take place right after Henry left and before Regina goes follow him. Which means it's taking place days after the finale happened.
So she should be a baby.
She should be a baby.
5 years old.
This is happening in this episode where she's wanting to do magic literally a few days after we just saw her. Or, I mean, I'm not days, let's give it, to be fair, months maybe. However long it was that Henry left and however long later he called for Regina. Mm-hmm. But still, we just saw her in the finale being a kid in a car. Mm-hmm. And now we're seeing her as an adult in Storybrooke.
Or as a teenager.
Teenager, whatever. Mom, you don't even seem interested. I'm upset. Because Zelena goes through in a portal, which I don't even know if they explained, but she just did, to go talk to Regina and Henry right in this episode. And she does that after they're already in, their castle in the other realm. Mm-hmm. Saying that Mother Gothel took her daughter. What? Mom, I'm onto something here. Okay, wait, okay. So Regina gave Robin access to the vault before she left to go get Henry. And we don't know how much time is passing actually in Storybrooke at that time. But we still know she was a baby or a 5-year-old roughly-ish around the time right after Henry graduated. So not a super amount of time has passed. Especially considering when we see in the finale that Regina's already had the baby. I'm not Regina, but Emma's already had the baby. So not a lot of time passes when all these events and weird stuff is going on. Then the jump back and the forward and then all this. It's just not working out, Mom. It's just not working out.
It's all not working out.
It's not making any sense.
They never make sense.
Mama, it's almost 2 a.m. I'm just going to wrap this up real quick, okay? Mm-hmm. Okay? All right, real quick. Okay. Oh, that's not the pointy end. All right. This is when Henry talks to himself on the phone, right? This is the events of the finale. Zelena goes there, and then she jumps in sometime after everyone who left has knowledge of things. So this would be when Henry left. This other dot would be when Regina left. And this would have to be when Zelena and Robin come to the realm that Henry is in. So they come down When they come down, Lucy's a baby. But it also takes place not too long after Regina left, when Robin would still be a child. And then Zelena gets her magic, gets to that point when they need to meet them again later when Lucy's 8. Mm-hmm. And they make that vague, not in our room, the age difference thing. But at this point, she's 25, Robin, so she would be 17 here, which means even though we just saw in this episode, she was 5.
Yeah.
When Henry had just gone on a graduation trip. By the time he leaves, before Regina leaves, she tells her about the magic book. And then not long after that, she's already 17. And then jumps there.
Yeah,
but we also know around here-ish, Emma just got pregnant, which means timeline-wise, the baby, Robin would still be about 5.
Yeah,
to loop around to Zelena being there, but then need to get to around there. So she'd either have to go to a realm with Robin, where time moves way differently, even faster, and then go back to Storybrooke to have Robin be an adult, or have a time travel thing to be Robin be adult. Either way, Zelena would have knowledge of everything that already happened, including the final battle.
Yep.
Huh. Doesn't work, Mom. It doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
I mean, I want it to work, but it doesn't work.
I wonder if anybody else has been talking about this.
I don't know. I'm going to go online.
Go online and look.
Am I wrong, though? I mean,
No,
somebody help me. Am I wrong?
We already mentioned this before, that they, as soon as that line got thrown out there, you know they were...
They just weren't going to try. They weren't even going to try. It's upsetting.
And I even said she was an infant, and then all of a sudden... They were talking about her being an adult in that other room. I said, there's no way.
Wasn't they first said it like, oh, not in our room? I'm like, okay, are you going to explain what realm you've been in that time's moved even faster than this realm?
Yeah,
but then they show that they got there to that realm from Storybrooke. Which would mean, well, that's what the first thing I thought, I was like, well, did she age regularly in Storybrooke? And so by the time she goes back, by calling on Gothel was way after the finale, but then they mentioned that it happened right before Regina left.
No.
Which means that all of this would have had to happen before the finale when they bring all the realms together.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Doesn't work. Doesn't work.
Doesn't work.